Welcome back. All right, so that was an adventure. My other computer has decided not to function correctly tonight, so I am doing this on a different computer, which I think I've got all set up. And so here we go. I will try this for the second time. So the Kings and the Arizona Coyotes playing in Australia tonight or tomorrow, but well, now it's tomorrow, so today's tomorrow. That's all fine. So it's Copley versus Ingram in this one, a battle of the backups, so to speak. Full building as well. Really excited crowd. Clearly, one that was quite happy to have NHL hockey down there, and so we can all have the debate about how well it was marketed and all that fun stuff. But the reality is, it seemed to go off quite well tonight. So there was a puck drop by a 100-year-old veteran too. So I thought that was nice. I thought that was fantastic. First game as well in the Southern Hemisphere, so there's a lot of firsts going on in this one. And again, the ice, which may have been a concern yesterday, ice was fine today. No problems. Not that I saw, anyways. So, early chance for Mikey Anderson in this one. The Kings controlled that first shift. The Kings had a lot of control in this game. There's a near miss by Kopitar. The Coyotes start throwing some hits. The Kings draw themselves a power play. That's in the first 2 minutes. Kings not allowed to set up during that power play. There's a near miss for Byfield. Kings set up late in the power play. They cycle. That power play is killed off. Kings press after it comes to an end. Ingram covers. And then we get some unfriendliness between Doughty and Josh Brown. Not Doughty, Doughty. And that will throw me off throughout the preseason is my guess. Kaliev, or not yet. We had 2 minutes of 4-on-4 because of the unfriendliness. Dubois denied on a Dursey turnover. Wrong team, Dursey. I think, passing it to the Kings, he's used to doing that, so maybe that's part of it. But either way, Dursey would make up for that later on. So Valimaki has a blast that's held as the Coyotes start to wake up, and then Doughty and Josh Brown come out of the box, and they decide now's a good time for a fight. And it was a tilt. That was a fight. That was honestly, and again, I'm usually the guy that'll say, it's a fight. I'll come back when it's done. But yeah, that was a good fight. And the linesman let them go. We cannot complain the linesman jumped in too early on that one. So they fight out of the box. They go right back to the box. Each of them get 5 minutes. Kaliev with a near miss. Then as the Kings press, Coyotes clear. Coyotes are kept to the outside when they get some pressure. The Kings are forcing turnovers as well. They controlled most of that first period. Near miss by Krause and close. The Kings clear it out. The Kings press at the half. There's a near miss. The Coyotes then clear it out. Spence has a shot. That's turned aside. The Coyotes nearly convert on a turnover. Turnovers were the story in part because it's preseason, right? A lot of turnovers in the preseason. Fiala has a one-timer kicked aside. The Kings press after that. There's more pressure by those Kings with 4 minutes left. Lewis is then denied in close with 3 minutes left. There's a near miss for Fiala on a rush. The next chance for Fiala, that gets defended. Kopitar has a net drive chance, that gets held. And the shots apparently were 15-7 after the first, but if you looked at the NHL website, I would love to have used the NHL app, but it wasn't working. So on the NHL website, they only had the shots like 12-10 halfway through the second period. It's preseason. So shots are really kind of subjective. At the end of this game, the shots were apparently 37-20 for the Kings. Kind of goes the way that I talked about in the preview, where the Coyotes just allow too many shots and don't get enough. But it's preseason. In second period, all the goals get scored. So the long change seemed to bother both goaltenders and teams tonight. Good early back and forth. Dursey has a net feed picked off. The Kings clear it out. Coyotes press are kept to the outside until Keller. Keller with a very advantageous goal for the Coyotes. He bounces it in off of Copley from behind the goal line. Schmaltz and Dursey with the assists at 148. So Clayton Keller getting on the board right away. That's the first goal ever scored by an NHLer in Australia. Kings look to answer. The Coyotes press. Mosier has a shot that nearly deflects in. Gavrikov tips one wide. The teams are trading rushes. Dano has a net feed then that gets blocked. Kings press. Dubois hits the post on a net drive. We get a power play then for the Coyotes. They're not allowed to set up. There was a shorthanded chance for Kempe. That gets held. Keller then had a rush chance. Anderson blocks there. But then with 18 seconds left in the power play on a good cycle late, it's Michelli. Yes, on the power play, and I'd love to see him shoot more this year and get more goals. Valimaki and Zucker with the assists at 8:22. There will be those watching this and going, oh, Zucker's in Arizona. Right. Kerfoot's there too. There's a lot of new players in Arizona this year. But the Kings would answer relatively quickly here at 9:08, so less than a minute after it became 2-0, it becomes 2-1. On a drop pass after a turnover, Spence gets it to Kempe. Kempe gets the goal. He buries it. Game really opening up at this point. Valimaki fires one high. Kaliev then had a wraparound that wouldn't go. Coyotes clear it out. And then it's another turnover, and Krause buries it from the slot. Drops to one knee as he does so. Bukestad with the assist at 11:19. And while that was a nice goal, the highlight reel goal is the next one. Cooley. So all the hype, he lived up to it tonight. He absolutely did. He scores from Mosier and Gunther at 11 minutes and 40 seconds, buries that one on a rush, and a nice spin move before he wires it. Highlight reel goal. We're going to be seeing that one throughout the preseason, maybe into the season as well. Coyotes then look for more. The Kings, though, they draw themselves a power play. There's a shorthanded rush early in that power play by Krause, who I thought had a good game. Kings cycle. Danault has a shot that's held. The Coyotes clear it out, and they force the Kings to go offside. And then shortly after the power play ends. Now, I know if you're in the building, it announced it as a power play goal. It wasn't. There was 8 seconds difference between the power play ending and that goal going in. Arvidsson from Fiala at 14:33. And it was just some chaos in the Arizona zone. And, the Kings take advantage, and Arvidsson buries it. So it was top shelf. It was a point shot by Fiala, and it was tipped by Arvidsson. No chance for Ingram there. And again, it was announced as a power play goal. And then at 16:12, Trevor Moore scores. Arvidsson with the helper on this one. Zone entry from the face-off circle. And yes, Danault did run a bit of a screen there. I still thought Ingram should have had that. So that made it 4-3. Lots of goals in this one. Coyotes look to answer. Roy breaks up a rush. The Kings then press. That draws them a power play with 21.5 seconds left in the second period. So that would roll over into the third. In the third period, we see Riddick in the net for LA. So that's the battle to keep an eye on. I know the announcers and their Kings announcers said Riddick's, tagged for the AHL. But if he outplays Copley, you're going to have a decision to make if you're Blake. And one decision he has to make is if you put Copley or Riddick on waivers, which one's more likely to clear, Copley or Riddick? I would think probably Copley just because of his age and how few games he has in the NHL overall. But it'll be interesting to see what the Kings do, because we may be in a situation where it might be harder to get a goalie through waivers with all of the goalie uncertainty around the National Hockey League. So Fiala has a rush chance this block. There's a near miss for Arvidsson as the Kings cycle. Fiala fires one high. The Coyotes do finish off the kill. O'Brien then has a wrister. That gets held. We get some pushing after that. The Kings press at 4 minutes, but they're kept to the outside. Shoulder save on Anderson. So Mikey Anderson with some good plays, and Connor Ingram was really working the shoulders tonight, so blocking off those high shots. Schmaltz then had a rush chance. That was defended. Danault has a tip shot. That gets held. Kaliev to Dubois, near miss there, and it's cleared out. Much better defense by both teams in the first half of the period, I thought. We then get a power play for the Coyotes. They cycle. Dursey has a shot that's blocked, and then we get 1:18 of 4-on-4. So some penalty trouble for both teams in the third. Roy has a shot that's blocked. The rebound's cleared. Kings press. They cycle. Gavrikov has a shot that deflects out. Kempe then has a net drive that's held during a brief Kings power play. It was 42 seconds on that power play for them. Coyotes do finish the kill. Kempe then has a rush chance. That's kicked aside. Mosier breaks up an Arvidsson net drive. Strong forechecking by Fiala, another player who stood out tonight. No surprise to anybody really with that. Doughty is then denied after that. Gunther fanned on a chance. The teams trade rushes. The goalie pull would take place with 2.5 minutes left. Ingram had held the puck. Perfect time to take the goalie out. Kings press. The Coyotes block. There's a near miss by Dubois. Dubois, of course, had hit a post earlier in the game. He was around the net. I think it's going to work out just fine. Kempe then had a shot that's blocked. Arvidsson has a shot that's held. The Kings call a timeout. Well, that also means that Arizona gets to talk things over. So the Kings win that faceoff. Kopitar winning that faceoff, but the Coyotes would get it, and the trio combine on a goal. Hayden backhands one in from about 60 feet away. Keller and Schmaltz with the assists at 19:38. So that's the line. That's the line that if you're a Coyotes fan, you want to see going. And of course, Cooley and Gunther playing together, that's a good thing too. So this game really turned out to be quite good for the Coyotes. And then after winning the game, we go to the shootout, and the Coyotes win that as well. Your first shooter was Zucker, save there. Dubois gets a save as well. Kerfoot, save on that one. Kaliev, also a save. and then Cooley buries it. So Cooley has the highlight reel goal of the game, and he has a nice one that he wires on the shootout. So he was the number one star tonight. No surprise to anybody. And then Byfield missed the net on his opportunity. So the Coyotes win both the game and the shootout. And good night if you're a Coyotes fan, but also a good night if you're a hockey fan. So it's nice to be back at it. I don't know that I'm going to stay up really late tomorrow night watching the other game. There are a couple of games on Sunday I am intending to watch and do recaps of that are going to be on Sportsnet. But since it's preseason, I don't want to get into that every, watching all the games thing that I tend to do. So I want to pace myself. It is just preseason, but let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always. If you were there, how enjoyable was the game for you? Let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. If you're browsing your way through, you just happened upon this video, and this is why I always have 2 computers set to go, because I know from experience at times the computer will just say, I've decided I'm not going to work tonight. So I will try to fix the other computer, but this one's perfectly fine. I've done videos on the other channel on this computer, so I know it works. But thank you guys so much for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.